Bubba, you said you were looking at some numbers that might be of interest to all.
Some new numbers out here, Rick. And if you don't think there is a effort here to get these numbers out with the president picking on people who are high-income wage earners with every speech now about the budget, don't you think it's just ironic that this story is coming out today from the IRS?
Oh, yeah.
Get this, and here is there's always the story behind the story, too, we got to look at. But there'll be a lot of hay made with this today. Of the already small and shrinking pool of millionaires and billionaires, over 1,470 paid no federal income tax in 2009, according to the IRS. Now, Rick, the way they have it broke down here, in our country, we have about 140 million people who pay federal income tax, okay?
All right.
That's out of, and we're just going to round this off, 300 million Americans. So we have less than half that pay anyway, okay? And they're pointing to this. They're saying there was over 8,000 people who earned $10 million or more, and there was 235,000 people who earned $1 million or more. Now, out of that 235,000, they're saying 1,470 paid no tax at all, which 1,400 out of 235,000 is not a very big number.
That's not a big one.
But they're going to make it sound like a big number when they portray this in the media today. So you just be on the lookout when you hear all this today. Now, why did these people who made $1 million not pay tax? According to the IRS, there's a whole laundry list of reasons. Charitable donations, various write-offs that they were given, tax-free bonds, which are usually municipal bonds. But now think about this. This is money or bonds that are sold by your cities to pay for things, and the interest off of them are tax-free. So when people made money off of them, they didn't pay tax on it because they loaned their money to the city. But now, see, they'll be vilified as evil people when they actually invested in their city and took advantage of a tax break that the politicians gave them. Now they'll be hatcheted on TV today for doing that.
Yeah, what you'll have
so
is,
you don't ever hear that.
Yeah, they will get on the air and they will lambaste people who made a lot of money for using tax loopholes that they themselves provided for them.
Yeah, nobody sits down at home with a pen and paper and invents their own tax loophole. It's put into law, and then they take advantage of it, which is not cheating. That is following the law. If the government says, I tell you what, if you will take a few $100,000 and you'll buy municipal bonds to help your city pave roads, or to help your city put in a sewer system, or to help your city upgrade their power grid, or whatever, and then they're going to pay you back a little percentage on that over time, and we're going to make it tax-free as an incentive for you to get involved. And guess what? People did it. Now they're going to be vilified for, hey, you didn't pay taxes. You made $1 million. You didn't pay no taxes on that. I mean, they're going to go nuts on it today. So and know that the release of this information is timely.
You'll never hear them mention the nearly 50% of Americans who pay no taxes, and a lot of them get a refund check for paying nothing.
46%.
They'll never talk about that.
46% of all American households pay zero federal income tax due to several reasons, some low income, tax credits for child care, exemptions, and other loopholes on one end of the spectrum, the same that some of the big wage earners are taking advantage of on the other end.
And so the government has created this problem, the revenue problem that they claim we have, and then they're going to get on to everybody except the ones, of course, they hand a check to. They're going to tell. See, that's the reason. This is just another example why vilifying the wealthy and going after them doesn't work. It doesn't work on one because the people with the money stop putting it into the economy. There's one. Number two, the government has given them so many loopholes that they know how to operate. Yeah. You never get the money anyway. So I mean, notice, this whole thing of making the rich out to be evil and thinking they're the answer to the country's revenue problems has never worked, never will work, won't work. That's the reason why we got to go to one or two things. We've got to go to the fair tax, or we've got to go to the flat tax. That's the only way we'll solve the problem. Now, I will go as far as to say, even in these situations, we still don't have a revenue problem. we got to spend it.
Oh, absolutely. I agree too. Rick, it's just these numbers are so glaring. There's so many of them. I'm still scanning through some of them here. Of course, incomes have dropped. The number of millionaires and billionaires have dropped. Even gambling returns have dropped. So, that's layoffs, of course, are a part of that too. But again, one of the loopholes that the rich were using, charitable donations. Now, think about all the groups and the good things that are happening with that the Red Cross. They've been kind of busy. Yep. I know in our part of the country with tornadoes.
Yep.
A lot of other groups. But if people are not giving that and taking that tax break, that help's not there. So
look, I don't have a problem with saying we're done with loopholes, and if you
if we're going to do it though, we're doing it from A to Z.
Yeah.
From penthouse to outhouse and everything in between. Because really, I think a lot of people are disenfranchised because they're not paying.
I agree.
I think they feel left out.
Well, if you don't believe that, go to a place of business and watch the difference of the guy who owns the company and the person who's just taking a check that couldn't care less about the company.
Well,
watch the way they act. If you have no investment in this country,
yeah.
I mean, what incentive do you have to do anything?
The sad part is that they politicize the way we raise money.
Absolutely.
They play group against group, break here, raise there, beat this guy up, let this guy off. If we took their power away to do that and said we're going to have a flat tax, a fair tax, whatever, so they could not play group against group and make loopholes. Congress makes loopholes, okay? Then we could argue about how to spend it. But I think we need to quit arguing about how we collect it.
Absolutely.
Let's make that fair and depoliticized.
And let me tell you what Congress and the president do so well. They do the classic example of, if I'm the guy who set the school on fire, I'm going to come up and try to help the school find the guy who did it.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
That's my best way to never be caught. I'm going to be part of the process of looking for the person who did it when it was me who did it.
That's the best way to look for anybody.
Right, and that's exactly what they do. They come out there and rant and rave and do all these stump speeches about things they created. You do realize they're totally in control. Totally in control. If Congress really hated the way the taxes are set up, they have the power to change it.
Oh yeah, they could have a vote this afternoon to change it.
If Congress says that they can solve all these problems because we've elected them and given them the power to do it. The problems they complain about are the problems they created. And that, so you when you're we the people, you go, but wait a minute.
We the people need to quit being suckers.
If y'all so upset about it, go change it. You have the power to do so. So anyway, so there it is. So just enjoy all the political capital that's going to come out of a situation when American people are struggling and an economy is in a tailspin. If you leave us right now, have a great day. If you got more of the Rick and Bubba show after the top of the hour break, Lord willing, we should be back.
Rick and Bubba.